Thank you so much for watching my videos. Here with me in this interview is Darin Gaub, and you're with Restore Liberty.
Yeah.
You know, and on my show, I'm always talking about freedom and liberty. And so when I saw that on your card, I said, I definitely have to bring you on the show here. Well, Darin, talk to me a little bit. What is Restore Liberty?
Well,
Besides the common sense.
Right. Well, it's easy to say that our mission is our title.
Yeah.
But the question is how. And so one of the things we do is we're building state directors across the country, and then also those state directors are building county chapters. And in some ways, it's a place for people to land where they're tired of the GOP garbage. Because it's all about we the people. It's not about a party. And our founding fathers never intended for there to be parties in the first place. It was supposed to be you and me figuring out who we wanted to represent us in Congress or wherever.
There's a famous founding father that says that parties be the death of the republic, right?
Yeah, well, we're working to prove him right. And praying that he's wrong,
Exactly.
At least in this case. But regardless of what happens, they need to just go away. So that's one of the things, and we really focus on local grassroots efforts, sheriff, judges, and school boards and things like that. But we keep a national vision to everything that we're doing. My co-founder and I are both retired senior military officers, and we take that experience in leadership and organization and strategy development and things like that and bring it into the organization. That doesn't mean we're all military by any stretch of the imagination. We've got everybody from tech people to homeschool moms, who are the most dangerous of everybody.
Most dangerous to who? The bad guys?
The bad guys, yeah.
Exactly.
And we're big fans of putting leadership in place that not only is able to keep busy tending the garden that is this country that God gifted us with, but also leadership that's in place in case things do go bad. And people are looking for someone who has the wisdom, fortitude, and courage, and the foresight to know that something was coming probably at some point, because history teaches us that.
Exactly.
So our vision of things is we want to win in policy. We want to win in at the election ballots, voting booths, and things like that. But we're not naive to the fact that history also teaches us that this is a fallen world. People do evil things. And we have to have plan B, plan C, plan D, really, and say, for example, our federal government could collapse.
Right.
Now, that may not be as big of a problem as some people think, but if it were to do something like that, we're the kind of organization that says we want that leadership to be in place to get through whatever that looks like to whatever the other side looks like, and say, you know what, we're not going to try to reinvent the American government. We have founding documents that those didn't fail.
They have almost like another door, if you will. Not even another door. They have a section in there, we'll say, for lack of the right way of saying it, that already gives us the tools that need to fix it from within.
Right. And it's specifically written in there that we have the right to throw off the form of government and start over. We are the bosses, and that's some of the things I write about in my Substack are reminding folks that the power structure in America is the individual down to the federal government. And the federal government is supposed to be the least impactful to your individual life of everything, and the least powerful. And we emphasize federalism in the 10th Amendment, states' sovereignty and power. Now, we have governors and state legislatures of courage, then we can continue to fight back against this federal overreach.
Although we're often finding in the states right now, you might have a governor with courage, but then he doesn't have the legislative body to back him up. Or we get the legislative body with a supermajority, but we got a governor that'll veto the whole thing. So right now, it's kind of there's not the perfect scenario on a lot of things, but is that what Restore Liberty is trying to do? Help create not only policy, but form those alliances, if you will?
Yeah. We like to work in the coalition environment. So one of the nature of independent people is we like to be left alone and independent. So we do the same thing with our organization. So we do not want to come into a state or a county or anything like that and try to take over what somebody's already doing.
Right.
We want to work alongside them in our own way. And we're not going to align with just anybody, so we're very careful about doing that. But Parents' Rights and Education out of Oregon, Act for America, and other types of organizations that we align with and agree with.
Right.
We're going to go ahead and work, I'll work with their national directors, founders, whatever they've got.
Right.
And we're going to share information. we're not necessarily, there's a financial part of it you can't share, but you're going to share strategies and information and things that you want to accomplish in order to magnify the effect of what you're doing.
Exactly.
And that's one of the things that people like about us, and what they also like about us is that there's two of us, of course, who are veterans running the whole thing, and we're out there now talking about military readiness and all these kinds of other things.
Right.
What we really want to do is talk about the restoration of liberty to America, because you can believe what you want to believe. We're a faith-based organization.
Right.
We really are. You can believe whatever you want to believe.
You
I just don't
can't
want
back
to
it up by
moderate.
faith. If you don't back it up by faith, you don't have a foundation.
You have zero foundation. And what I don't want is a government monitor arbitrating our conversation.
Right.
And we should be free to say whatever we want, regardless of how much we disagree or agree.
Is the Restore Liberty organization, is it like the Freedom Caucus? The Freedom Caucus is kind of going around the country, form in states for, of course, to promote freedom.
Right.
So that's my first question. Is anything like that?
Conveniently, I am the director of the Freedom Caucus for Montana.
Oh, okay, go on.
So I will tell you, there's a reason why I was willing to accept that job. Is because of our principles and priorities align in most every way.
Okay.
The discipline and the kind of people we're looking for within the Freedom Caucus, as far as vetting them and bringing them into the organization, is extremely excruciating for the people to get through, to be accepted into it. And so that it's hard to do, and that's okay. Oftentimes you'll find that Restore Liberty and State Freedom, the Freedom Caucus Network folks, were endorsing the same people.
So another question for let you finish your answer there.
Good enough. Yeah.
So
let's use our time.
Another thing is, everybody talks about the Freedom Caucus, or we talk in terms of freedom and liberty. Everybody likes to say freedom and liberty. It rolls off your tongue, freedom and liberty. But essentially, when you look up the word freedom and you look up the word liberty, they mean the same.
Yeah.
So what is the difference, in your opinion, of liberty that you want to use liberty instead of freedom?
Well, in some ways, people treat freedom like license to do whatever I want, whenever I want, regardless of consequences. Even if it's somewhat bound by, where if I'm touching you, essentially, if it's infringing upon your rights. I consider liberty, the discussion about liberty, to be both really kind of freedom and liberty, but bounded and guided by God's higher moral law. So I am free, I am at liberty to operate and do those things that God has for me to do.
Awesome.
If I'm not doing that, then I really don't know what I'm doing in the first place. I had this great plan after military retirement. But you know how God looks at our plans.
Exactly.
And so he laughed at me hard. And
I see your plan and I raise your mind.
Right.
Enough said.
And as a typical guy, it only took me 14 years and some beatings to get be obedient to God's calling in my life. Maybe overstating that, but I was like, okay, so you've got me doing something. And so when I come to events like this, this great Plan Revealed Mike Lindell conference, my goal is not always to go in and listen to all the speeches. It's to wander the halls, and because God has always put somebody in front of me and says, you need to meet this person.
I like that.
For this reason, or I'll show you the reason later, it doesn't matter. But I'm not looking to get involved with the organization or individually in the celebrity circus, the pursuit of these kinds of things. Some of the people we work with are well known, Mike Lindell, but he's got a heart of gold, and he doesn't consider himself a celebrity. But we don't really care about that. We're finding the people that are willing to get into the trenches with the shovel and start shoveling the mud and do the hard work that needs to be done.
Do you have a mission statement for Restore Liberty?
Ultimately, is to restore America's values back to the governance the way it was intended to be under our founding documents.
Love it. How do people get involved with Restore Liberty?
Well, get a hold of restore-liberty.org is our website. And we have a way to contact us on there, or you can, if you're writing things down, it's patriots@restore-liberty.org as well. And I'm the one who gets those, and I do answer them. Makes for some late nights, but I think it's important that we turn this into a people business again.
Well, we're going to be in touch again. I'm going to have you on again more, Darin Gaub.
Sounds good.
Gaub, right?
It is.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and I want everybody, if you believe in liberty, This sounds like an organization to not only get to know, but share this video, this interview with somebody else who also likes liberty as a way to save it, promote it, and protect it in America. Thank you so much.